like football, basketball, you're chilling with the homies, bet them whatever, 10, 20, 50, 100, or the friendly wager with the homie, it's the podcast for you, not industry professionals. You look like it though. But we're a couple of homies trying to get you the quick flip off of the sports ting. No long talking, no lies, no limits. This is No Cap Bets. Today's Friday, September 16th, 2022. Giving you the best picks against the spread. We do the homework. You win the picks. NFL Week 2. I got my co-host with me in the building. Heavy, what up?
What up, what up, what up?
And our senior NFL top correspondent. I want to get right into it, actually. He's a two-time back-to-back fantasy champion winner, wrestling enthusiast, and took the Broncos, went up against me last week. We got to talk about it. Say what up to the people, Grizz.
What is up, No Cap Nation?
And like we do in every other episode, we get to the No Cap recap. Before we do, this episode has been brought to you by BetStamp. You got a line shop now. We got a whole bunch of books we could choose from. So let's look for the most valuable odds. Anytime I'm playing a wager, I'm looking at BetStamp first. Is it MGM? Is it FanDuel? Is it whichever book got the best payout? I track my bet, and it's off to the races. Download the BetStamp app now and use the promo code NOCAPBETS. Once again, BetStamp with the promo code NOCAPBETS. Let's get to the No Cap recap. Heavy, you had the Giants. Big win. Vikings.
Yes,
Kirk Cousins shows up like he's supposed to, and then you set it on the gram, and then you go against the GOAT and basically ruin what could have been a 3-0 week.
3-0. Yeah.
How does it feel 2-1 coming in this week one?
Oh, it feels great to start off 2-1. I think I've always talked to you about like at least going 2-1. Like that's always important. 3-0 is always, amazing, but you can't always do that. So the first game we had was the Giants. Crazy game, bro. They end up winning like right at the end of the game. I'll take a cover, I'll take a straight out win. So shout out to my guys, the New York Giants.
Right.
Your boy, Kirk Cousins, he did his thing, showed out, and basically like balled out on Rodgers and them. They will end up winning 23-7. Another cover for me. And then I as I said on the gram, you can't bet against this guy. I was trying to find an edge with the whole divorce, not even the divorce, but him at home and it being a distraction.
Yeah.
That shit just blew up in my face. So shout out to the GOAT, bro. He's the greatest of all time. He proves it every other week. Even if he loses the next week, he'll come back focused. But yeah, he did his thing and they end up winning that one 19-3. So shout out to Brady, and that was my holy love.
I think in this season we got to make a pact with each other to not do the personal life angle. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever people got going on in their personal life, it's not an angle that we should be telling our listeners to bet on. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I had the worst one in season 1. Don't go back to those episodes.
We've all had it. Me,
you.
I'm sure Grizz has done it once. But yeah,
actually, I think I do have. You guys got to let me know. I might have a personal angle with this week's locks. But speaking of Grizz, let's talk about it. I think it was the sickest actual lock of the week, the Steelers. I watched that game from the Dominican live. It was incredible. Like that was easily like the most exciting game before, I guess, the Seahawks game. So you had the Steelers. I would say that was the lock of the week. And then you took the Chargers, which got a little dicey at the end, but then you ended up getting that cover. And then yeah, you felt like Russ would get his revenge. In fact, Seattle really wanted their revenge against Russ. Go ahead and give us your thoughts. 2-1, how does it feel coming back?
All right, Nation. Well, we started the year off on a great note, going 7-2 as a collective. Shout out to you, Plus, going 3-0.
Appreciate
you.
You.
Me and Heavy, the 2-1. So, that's always great. So, starting with the positive. As you mentioned just now, the Steelers, +6.5. And aside from Money Mitch not looking like Big Ben, everything I saw pretty much happened, essentially. With this Steelers team, it's like the defense is going to be what's leading them. And, so I would more look out for that. And just for tidbit's sake, the last time the Bears were good was 2020. That's when Money Mitch brought them to the playoffs. Just in case, from last week, you guys weren't sure when they were last good. Just want to clarify for you guys. All right, moving on. We had the second winner. which is the fire-breathing Chargers. This team came out guns a-blazing. And to be honest, this game really wasn't in doubt for me. You know, they're up 17-3 at one point. They were rushing their car. It didn't really seem like Vegas had enough to come back. And for the one negative, of course, as you mentioned, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
I'm going to start referring to Seattle's stadium as the Obia House. Games always go weird there.
I'm dead.
I don't know if you guys ever noticed, like, since Carroll's been there, anything prime time, anything in Seattle is always some dumb shit that happens. And Monday was another example of it. So, you know, it is what it is. On to a new week.
Yo, did you catch him dancing, though? Whenever he's dancing, they're bound to win, eh?
Oh, yeah, Pete Carroll?
I don't like Pete Carroll, bro. But you know what? It's cool. It's cool.
Look, at the end of the day, I tried to give you guys the gem, and I hope we can maybe talk later on if this could be a no cap commandment. But the revenge QB angle, like I'm fading it every time because, like I said, you have a team that knows they know that quarterback's tendencies. They watched it for years, you know. So I would expect.
Hey, you know what? That's a good thing because it happened with Mayfield too.
Exactly. That was my angle that week.
Good point.
And then, like you said, now we have a new name for Seattle, the Obia House. Like when you go into the Obia House, that place is loud. It's crazy. It's one of the loudest in the NFL. Like that's documented. So yeah, it just felt like a great angle to take. But either way, I'm happy. We're 7-2. I had the Ravens. Everybody did believe it was a bet heart, and it might have been to a certain extent, but I took them by double digits, and they got the double digits. They were 6.5-point favorites. That was just smooth sailing for me. And then my second lock. What was my second lock, guys? Oh yeah, it was Mayfield. It was fading Mayfield. Yeah, it was the Cleveland Browns.
Me, right?
It was the Cleveland Browns who got the outright win, and they did exactly what they expected to do. So we took those angles. No long talking. We know exactly what you came for, and it's the locks, and we're gonna give them to you right at the break. Snowcap Bets. Check out the Body Right podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Bless up. Jeans look too tight, but then that shit just right. And you know what that means. It's time for the locks. You're listening to No Cap Bets, official No Cap Bets on Instagram. Let's get right to it. So we didn't include the not involved segment, but what I'm going to do is right before we tap out of the whole episode entirely, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some games that we didn't touch. But let's get started. There's some 1 o'clock games we're involved with. I'm going to let you set it off heavy. You're involved with the New England Patriots game. They're on the road as favorites up against the Steelers, who I think shocked the NFL, but Grizz wasn't that shocked. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, with this one, I'm going to be going with the Pats minus 2.5. This just feels like a letdown spot for the Steelers, the way they celebrated after that huge win in overtime against division rivals, the Bengals. But they took a huge blow losing TJ Watt, who plays a huge part in their defense. Now, Mitchell Trubisky, he started off hot, scoring a quick 17 in the first half, but the true Trubisky showed up in the second, only scoring 3. Now, I've always liked betting on Belichick and bounce back spots, so I like the spot for the Pats. I think they made the necessary adjustments that they have to. And another stat, the Pats haven't gone 0-2 since 2001. So the line is telling a lot, having them favored by a field goal on the road. So give me the Pats in a great spot to cover as small faves. I just think this is a letdown for the Steelers, to be honest.
And, you know, I don't want to address any media narrative as a place for people to invest. I think that was a great take. But I think Belichick hears the chirps. I mean, all through ESPN circuits this week at Fox Sports, you're hearing, like, it's over for him. He can't win without Brady. Like, Ryan Clark was going in on him. So I don't think it's time to fade Bill Belichick right now. So,
well, the game could have been closer last week too. There was like a defensive touchdown that Miami had got, so it could have went either way. They didn't really look that great as far as like on the offensive side, but I always trust Belichick to like overlook tape and just make the necessary adjustments, like I said. So I'm gonna look for the Pats to win by a field goal this week.
TJ Watt, torn pec, out for several weeks. Defensive Player of the Year. You might be onto something there. Grizz, how do you feel about the injuries? Does it affect the way this defense performs?
It'll definitely have its effects, but the defense is not just TJ Watt. You know what I mean? You want to be real. The first 7 points of that game was Micah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Plus, he was the one who got the block.
He blocked the extra point. He blocked the extra point.
That just lets you know that there's more players on that defense who can make an impact. So I'm not really worried. And I have one question that people really don't want to live with. Maybe, is it possible that the Patriots are just not that good?
It's possible. It's possible. You know what?
I'm just asking because you know what? Reality is, without Brady, Belichick has never won, even in Cleveland. So I don't really know what to really believe when it comes to this team. But maybe they're just not that good. Maybe they're just not.
Heavy's first lock, the New England Patriots. I got a 1 o'clock game I want to get to as well. This one is between the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. This is crazy to me how I just end up, falling on two of these teams last week, and then they set me up to take them again. So give me the Cleveland Browns back-to-back weeks. Jets last year finished as the fourth worst team against the run. Now they got to go up against Nick Chubb. Not to mention, since 2018, this is the worst road dog ATS, 9-19. I believe the AFC North is the best conference or the best division in football this year. And, I gave you the Ravens double digits last week. We gave you the Browns. They got outright wins. Jets put up 9 points at home. And now they got to go face Myles Garrett, Clowney, Greedy Williams is back. If you got a secondary with a guy named Greedy on it, bro, this is a legit defense. So I don't expect the Jets to put up any more points. They're 6.5-point dogs. I don't understand that line. It kind of confuses me. The run defense for Cleveland just surrendered 2.8 yards per rush on 19 attempts last week. So I expect them to feast on the Jets. No long talking. The favorite in this matchup between these two teams have covered 9 out of the last 10 times. It's Cleveland Browns, first lock. What do y'all think, 6.5?
I like it.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've never subscribed to taking Cleveland as a favorite, especially at a touchdown. But I wish you the best.
Yeah, and you know what? It's something that I don't plan on doing a lot this season. I don't think they're going to be in the favorite spot a lot this season. But if this is a spot, if there was ever a spot to take them, I'd figure it'd be now. They would love to get a 2-0 start. And this defense is hungry.
I think against the Jets, it's possible, but like Grizz said too, it's not really a favorable thing to take them as favorites. So, yeah.
My first lock, the Cleveland Browns, 6.5. Other games we're not involved in the 1 o'clock slate. Miami and Baltimore, that's around 5.5. Love Lamar. I hear them chirping a lot about him, but I just think that line's too big. I'm not touching it, not involved. Detroit.
3.5. 3.5.
Oh, 3.5? Okay, yeah. Oh, 3.5. Oh, well, listen, I might be involved. You know what I'm saying? But currently not involved. Detroit, we got Detroit and Washington. You killed it with the names, Grizz. You typically call this one a shit bowl. I don't really love that one. I think we gotta find a no cap, term for that. But Obia House was lit. I gotta give you that one. That's probably the best one we've ever heard on the shit. That's definitely one of the new ones. But we're not involved in Detroit and Washington. Jacksonville and the Colts. I can't call it 3.5, 4.5, guys. What is it?
Last I checked, that's 3.5.
Yeah, not right touching it, not involved. I don't care about any Matt Ryan games. You won't see me taking him. One that'll be interesting is the New Orleans New Orleans and Tampa Bay game. I always feel like New Orleans has Tampa's number. So I might play around with that. Carolina and the Giants. Hey, they came through for heavy last week and they're up against Baker. I like fading Baker. So who knows? Might get involved. And then there's some 4:00 games that are worth discussing. We got the Rams. They're up against Atlanta. None of us are involved in that. I feel like that line's too big. What do you guys think?
Definitely too big and not involved.
Yeah. You know what? Rams didn't look good enough.
Yeah.
And Atlanta looked too good to really, say, let me take Atlanta. I don't know. I don't want to sweat that game.
Well said. But there are some other games that we're really involved in. I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away, Heavy. There's a game between the Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders. This one's at 5.5. What's your take?
Yeah, so I'm going to be going with the Cards plus 5.5. I know the Cards looked horrible in week 1, losing 44-21 to the Chiefs. But fast forward to this week, and I refuse to overreact to week 1's results. A key stat that I found that the Cards went 8-1 against the spread last year on the road. So this team plays a lot better in road game scenarios. Now, I never like laying the points with the Raiders, and I won't start now. Just a tough spot for them after losing a tough divisional game against the Chargers, and then they have to come home to an upset Arizona team. The Raiders may win this one, but I'm not taking it. I see this game being a much closer than the line indicates. I just can't see myself taking the Raiders with so many points. So I'm going to go with the Cards. Hopefully it's close. Maybe they win all right, but it stays within 5.5. I'm going to go with the Cards this week.
Grizz, your thoughts?
I kind of agree still. I don't think Arizona is as bad as they looked. And a perfect team to show that is against Vegas. Because I don't think they're as good as they may appear to be.
Yeah, a -6 is, even at -3, I wouldn't even want to take the Raiders. So I'm not taking them at -6. I'm minus at 5.5. So I'm going with the Cards plus 5.5.
-6 for the Raiders is a little high.
Yeah.
For a team like the caliber of the Cardinals. Cardinals are not a bad team.
Right.
So
right. Yeah.
8-1 against the spread on the road too. How can you go against that?
5.5 points too, especially when you got trends like that. Definitely feels like it's a Cardinal side or nothing.
Can I ask you guys something? Do you guys find a lot of these games that open around 5.5 and 6? Do you find them to be trappish?
Yes.
Like the favorite?
Yeah, it's a premium. I feel like it's a premium.
Yeah. So to me, I just can't do the Raiders at -6 or -5.5. So no cap nation, ride with me. Plus 5.5. We're going with the Cards. We don't know.
Heavy second lock, the Arizona Cardinals. That is a 4:25 start time. Actually, I missed a game, ran through the not involved games, but at 4:05, there's a game that I'm involved in, and it's the Seattle Seahawks on the road against the 49ers. You know how you grab a team and then you got to do the zigzag theory? Well, I'm not doing it here. Give me the Seahawks again for a second straight week, second locked. They asked Geno Smith after that upset win what he had to say to the people who wrote him off. He said, I never wrote him back. And that was that. He's signed to Rock Nation now. He's not really signed to Rock Nation, man. I'm just playing. But I think people really decided to write this guy off again for another week and another season. 8.5 points is way too much for me to bet on Trey Lance. Now, I don't think he's going to do a lot every week. I don't think he's going to be that guy that we saw in week 1. But all you're asking Geno Smith to do is just manage the game. I think the Niners put up just 9 points last week? 10 points? I think it was 19-10 their loss. I didn't really watch it. You know what I mean? I don't really watch Niners game too much, but I definitely watch the Seahawks. So this line of 8.5 kind of annoys me, and it confuses me because this is more of a 49er fade for me. San Francisco is 3-7 ATS and straight up as a home favorite in their last 10. Here at No Cap Bets, we love us a division dog. And Trey Lance wasn't impressive enough for me to give this 8.5. He connected on just 13 of 28 of his passes, scrambled a little bit, got 54 yards, but this is against a division opponent now. Like, these teams know each other, familiarity. Seattle's covered 7 of its last 7 as an underdog, including 3 of their last 5 as a dog on the road, and they've won 6 of those straight up. So this isn't the team that the 49ers are going to want to see after an emotional win. And I know a lot of people think like hangover, this is a letdown spot. No, like that emotional win actually drives you into a more motivated space. So they're looking to go 2-0 and assert themselves in this division. And in the words of Sticky Fingers from the legendary group Onyx, but wait, it gets worse. Grizz, you haven't dropped a bar. You know, that's usually Grizz. He drops bars, like he'll just throw bars in there. You know what I mean? But I'm still looking for you to do that. That's Grizz's thing. I just had to pull it for this take. What does a quarterback do after they catch an L? They watch film, right? Like they mentally prepare. Well, there's a video that's going around of Trey Lance, and it appears he's at the strip club. Like this just had like Thursday night, like throwing bills on chicks. Like he doesn't have the mindset of someone who's looking to bounce back off of a loss and win. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I'd have been there with him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm down for you, youngin, but you're going up against Geno Smith. Like you got to take the Seahawks seriously. 8.5 points. Look, if the Niners squeeze one out, they get 3, they get 6, but 8.5 points. You're giving me Geno Smith off of this momentum right now. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. That's my second lock. No words.
I don't have faith in I don't have faith in Geno Smith. So yeah, like the faith that you have for him is great, but I can't get behind him. So best of luck to you on your best bet, bro.
It's not necessarily Geno Smith. Like I'm not. This is not a Geno Smith take.
A lot of your take at the beginning was based on Geno Smith and being motivated and not responding to the haters.
Yeah, that was but that was great. That was great. It made me.
I'm not arguing it. I'm just saying you wanted my opinion. I cannot back Geno Smith. My money cannot be involved with him. So yeah, I'm not involved.
Grizz?
I mean, you guys are funny because, well, for heavy, I don't know how you can back Daniel Dimes but not want to back Geno. That's just
my guy. Shout out to
But anyway, you know what? I think if Seattle didn't play Denver last week, I wouldn't think much of the spread, you know, and you have very good points. I saw the video too with young Lance in the club, and it's just like, bro, what are we doing? I didn't like that myself. As a Niners fan, I didn't like that.
What are you doing?
Yeah, like, why are you in the club? You should be studying right now. You should be trying to figure out how to beat Seattle. That was stupid.
Like, you're not taking them serious.
I mean, yeah, you're not focused. And this is how Jimmy's gonna get his job back. You know, like this is the type of stuff I don't like. But I would say that Seattle, they're playing with house money. You know, teams like that are dangerous, and I don't think that, you know, you have to look at last week too. Like they're playing in a monsoon. Seattle, San Fran, and Chicago. Like that was a rainy game, so you're not gonna get the stats that you're looking to get. You know, that was a monsoon. No pun intended. So, you know, like it's hard to fully judge Trey Lance aside from the strip club thing off of last week. You know, it's the conditions. But I mean, you kind of convinced me on Seattle still, so I'll rock with it.
A lot of trends looking up for them. My second lock, the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to take it back to you guys. Another 425 start. Right before we went on air, I knew you guys were both involved, and Grizz said, I want Heavy to go first on this game. It's the Denver Broncos. What we calling it, guys? 9.5? We're calling it 9.5. And it is up against the Houston Texans. Gritty game in their week 1. All right, Heavy, you take it away for the third lock.
Yeah, so I'm going to be going with the Broncos. Minus 9.5. Now we have the Broncos coming into this one off an embarrassing loss against Geno Smith and the Seahawks. The emotions were running high, but that didn't play much that didn't match the play, I should say, on the field, unfortunately. Now the Broncos did have 440 plus yards in that game, but with 2 fumbles on the 1-yard line and giving up an early touchdown, really put all their chances of winning or even covering the spread in that game. bet. Now, fast forward to this week, the Broncos come back home to the Texans, who are coming off a huge divisional cover against the Colts. We're looking at Davis Mills real quick. All of his 4 games on the road, he got smoked. 40-0 against the Bills, 31-5 against Arizona, 31-3 against Indy, 23-7 against the 49ers. Yeah, man, it's early in the season to lay double digits, but I'll bite the bullet and go with the Broncos to bounce back in a huge way against the Texans in this spot. If the Broncos converted their chances last week, they win and cover the game in Seattle. So I just look for Russell Wilson to cover this big spread. I know it's a lot to ask, especially in week 2, but yeah, I'm going with the Broncos -10.
He's saying 10. I offered up 9.5. That's how confident he is.
I mean 9.5. Sorry about that, bro.
It's all good.
I'll take the 9.5. I'll take the better number.
Heavy's third lock. The Denver Broncos 9.5. Grizz, you think that's too much? Your third lock? Go ahead and get it.
Oh, this is my first lock of the week.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Heavy's third. You're first. We haven't even heard from you yet. Go on with it.
Yeah. In this game, I'm going to take in the Texans. I prefer to take it at like a 10.5 just to get that hook. But whatever. I'll take it at 9.5. Cool. And my reasoning behind it is simple. I didn't see enough from Denver to believe that they have enough established chemistry. Or essentially, I don't feel as though they're a well-oiled machine as yet. And
that's fair. That's fair.
The coaching.
The coaching's awful.
You've seen some of the play calls, the misuse of time. Those are things that are a work in progress. They're not going to change in 1 week. You know what I mean? And when I look at on the other side, and I was trying to explain last week, Houston seems to be a little bit more scrappy than teams may want to really believe them to be.
You did, yeah. You did mention that.
They gave Indy a real tough time. They should have won that. If you want to be real, Houston should have won that game. But you know what? A tie is better than a loss in football, apparently. And I expect to see more of that. I don't think this is going to be so easy for Denver. And I think, even though, it's a good stat that you mentioned, Heavy, because I did not really take that into consideration, but it's a new year. So I'm going to rock with Houston and hope that, you know what I mean, they can keep this close. Give me the Texans.
The most we can do this week is another 7-2. Someone's going to go down. Actually, we can go 8-1, right? No, we go 7-2. When mans are up against each other, oh yeah, we could go 8-1. So the best we could do is 8-1 this week. The guys are up against each other. That's.
But this is just like I said earlier. It's just a fade of Davis Mills. To be honest, like if from what I see from last year's games on the road, I want to see how he performs today. Like I said, I know it's a big spread, but I'll bite the bullet. I'm gonna go with the Broncos.
Grizz's first lock. The Houston Texans. I'm going to take it away from here. I got the Dallas Cowboys for my third lock. It can't get any worse for the Cowboys, who lost Dak to injury. And people are already on TV saying their season's over with only 1 week down. This is the team no one wants to touch. I think after watching the Bengals collapse, we're talking about, I like this one. We're naming this episode, Haven't Seen Enough, because I couldn't agree with Grizz on that when it comes to Trey Lance. And the same thing when it comes to Joe Burrow. The Bengals aren't sneaking up on anybody anymore. Last year was Joe Burrow. Everybody knows who he is, and you're getting every team's best shot. Now, one quarterback we don't know is this other guy, Cooper Rush. 1 start. You know what that tells me? No game tape. So you got Kellen Moore, Mr. Gadget play. We don't know what's going on with the coaching over there either. But you're asking me to take a home favorite that didn't show up at all last week by a touchdown. Look, Dallas loses games in hilarious fashion, by a field goal, by a fumble, this, that, whatever. Dallas is going to keep it close. Break down sometime in the fourth quarter. No long talking. Final lock, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't even care if you guys got a take on that, to be honest.
I just can't bet them after last week, but yeah.
Yeah, the teams no one want to touch, you got to touch them sometimes.
I see where you're going, and I get it. And the Bengals, I feel like Bengals should win at the very least. I don't know if they're gonna.
Oh, they will. They will. They'll squeak a 24-20 out. You remember that. Remember that. But you know what, Grizz?
We're gonna you guys keep in one thing. Keep in mind, Joe Burrow isn't fully healthy either. Right? He really isn't. If you guys look at him,
that's even more of a side to why take him as a road favorite.
I get it. I'm just saying.
Grizz, we got a couple minutes left on the show. I'm going to let you take it away. You got 2 Monday nighters. Let's start with the first one up at 7:15. It's Buffalo 8.5.
It's actually 9.5.
9.5. It's jumping up now. All right, Buffalo 9.5 against the Titans. Who you on?
All right. Well, for my next lock, I'm gonna go and hit the siren on the Titans of Tennessee.
Okay.
Plus 9.5.
Yeah.
If I can get it at 10, even better. Now, one reason, simple fact that I believe the Bills to be quite overvalued, considering that this is a team that they're playing that has beat them multiple times within the last couple of years. The Titans know how to play the Bills. And as good as the Bills looked last week, Josh Allen did donate the ball a couple of times in that game. And it's kind of making me wonder what losing Brian Daboll is going to do as the season goes on. If you remember the playoff run that they had, Josh Allen had no turnovers. He had like 9 touchdowns throughout his little run. So starting the season off giving the ball away, kind of alarming. And of course, you have to know that the Titans are a well-coached team. So I already know being a double-digit dog in a primetime spot is enough bulletin board material to motivate these guys. And it doesn't hurt having Derrick Henry in the backfield, who happens to have his way with this Bills team.
Facts.
So looking at the situation, knowing that the Bills are a little overvalued, I'm going to rock with the Titans.
Buffalo's got to be the most premium paying for cheap. The Buffalo is what KC was last year now. It's just
pretty much
everybody's going to expect them to run away with every single game over a touchdown. Yeah. At least that. So I'm with you there.
Yeah, they're a bit overvalued still. I'd have to go Titans.
Grizz's second lock, first Monday nighter, the Tennessee Titans, and then take it away. Oh man, I don't know what you got going on in a game involving Kirk Cousins. We like are low key like arguing about Kirk Cousins every week on WhatsApp. I'm starting the arguments, to be honest. But it's the Eagles. They're at home. They're favored by 2. We decided we're going to take this number at 2. And
no. I wanted to take it out.
All right. Well, but then you came for a certain sports book, so I didn't know that. Okay, whatever. So for this particular game, you're taking it at 1.5. Go ahead. You got the Eagles versus the Vikings.
All right. For my final lock of the week, I'm going to fly Eagles fly and rock with Philadelphia at -1.5.
Yep.
Now, if you are unaware, allow me to enlighten you. This is low-key a straight fate of the most efficient quarterback in the league, Kirk Cousins, who, I don't know if you guys know this, is not a primetime player.
That's disrespectful.
Teams led by him playing in a primetime game are a staggering 2-9 straight up. That does not give me confidence. And while the Vikings did look good last week, while half of that may be the Packers not playing good enough, the Eagles were no slouch as well. They scored 38 points. So that lets me know that, at the very least, offensively, I can trust them to keep toe-to-toe with whatever Minnesota's going to throw at them. And yeah, that's it. We're going with the Eagles, baby. Fading Kirk Cousins in prime time. We know he's not a big under-the-lights player. Let's go.
I'll be watching, rooting for my boy. I'll be honest, and I'm rooting for you to have a great week, like a nice 2-1 week. You know what I'm saying? Whether that 2-1 has anything to do with Kirk Cousins, I'll still be happy for you. But you know what side I'm on in that game. I gotta root for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the team, and you know what I'm saying. I want to see you have a great record, and the whole team have it. But yeah, I appreciate the take though. You found Cousins in a spot where he's not as successful. It wasn't like it was just a Cousins bash thing. He had some intel to back it.
You gotta know when to take him and when not to take him. You know, that's why I didn't even touch it last week.
Yeah, it's just kind of like Heavy's take earlier with the Cardinals. Like, this is Raiders at a premium. Like, you just got to find the spots. So I'm not mad at that. You guys are up against each other though. Let's just cover the 1:00 games. Like I said, I got the Cleveland Browns at 1. Heavy, you've got the Patriots by 2.5, and then you've got the Cardinals. I'm involved in the Seattle Seahawks game. I think people fading Geno Smith is going to be a thing, and I'll be on the other side of that. And yeah, like I said, you guys are up against each other in that Broncos-Texans game. May the best man win. And Grizz, your 2 Monday nighters, man. The Tennessee Titans made a great point. Buffalo at a premium, and I wish you best of luck against the most efficient quarterback in the league. If you like everything that you heard, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Hit the subscription on YouTube, man. We bumped up to like 150 subscribers like in the last few days from just week 1 alone. So we see you guys out there. If you want to join the No Cap Nation, that's the best way to do it. We're going to keep sending those free picks, the clips, all of that. But yeah, all the people still listening to us, Spotify, Google, we appreciate the love from everywhere we get it. And 7-2 last week. I think we're looking good going into this week as well. For my co-host, Heavy 365, and our senior NFL top-to-top correspondent, Grizz, I'm Plus. It's been another episode of No Cap Bets. Bless up.